I'm good. I feel underdressed.
I dress up for you. Yeah, sometimes I just.
All cute today.
Sometimes the amount of like makeup and kerfuffling, it reflects the like how I'm feeling. You know, inside the opposite. It's like it's kind of like being a drag queen. You're like, I need just more. But I am wearing my fuchsia lipstick. I did put on some makeup. Why not? You know.
I have a little bit of something, but not much. It's Friday. I'm cooling out.
You know, I love the glasses, of course.
Thank you.
Great
and
frames.
I've been repping all week, so let me stand up so you guys can see. I have on my Digital Rebel sweatshirt this morning. So it says, wrong female to sleep on. All week I've been wearing T-shirts that have sayings or something, but they're all by African-American, actually all African-American female designers. So this is Digital Rebel. My niece had a T-shirt line called Curly Girl, so I had on her T-shirt day before yesterday. I had on my Black Lives Matter shirt.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so every day I've been having on like a statement T-shirt. So
I love it. Statement T-shirts, man. It's also, I'm going to be honest with you, great business look. You put a blazer over a statement T-shirt.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
you walk into a room, you're looking.
And a pair of pumps, a good pair of pumps.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. We agree that is a fine look. So I really appreciate your joining me today to do this Creative Sprint Open Studio. Yeah, I mean, the way it works is that we typically on a Friday, I invite someone, yourself, to join me here, and we just do the prompt for the week, and we encourage people to do it with us, or use this as a demonstration, encourage people to do it, and then share it with the Creative Sprint community, and we reshare what everybody makes, and that's pretty simple. But we're doing something a little different today. Would you explain a little bit about what we're doing? From your POV?
I'm going to try to do this without getting emotional. But what we're doing is we are sharing, or we have already shared, a childhood photo of ourselves with one another. And the premise behind that, and we're going to do in front of you today, we're going to write down the first 5 things that come to mind. And then we're going to do a caption this. So we'll write a little blurb about what we see in that photo. And we've challenged each other, and we're challenging you at home to look not just with your eyes, but with your heart. And hopefully, what I hope comes out of it is that people who may not be as familiar as we are, who don't have the blessing of being as familiar with other ethnic backgrounds, other people from just different walks of life, if you don't have the blessing of knowing those people, that you'll get to know someone and you'll see 2 things. That you aren't so much different, really, but then your differences are the things that make you dope. And so that's what I hope comes out of this. I'm super, super excited to do this.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this prompt, and because it so naturally builds out of the Creative Sprint idea, but it really takes it to another level. And also thanks to Tharea for helping with this as well. She and I had a great conversation about.
She's awesome, by the way.
She is. We had a conversation about building empathy. She has a young child, something that she's thinking about a lot. How do you create empathy? And you also understood my background being in pictures, photography, yours being in language. It's just a really nice blend and a great demonstration of something that you can do. And like you said, we are lucky because you and I were raised and have lived lives where we've come into contact with lots of different kinds of people. But you always got to work, continuing to grow your empathy and your ability to learn about other people's lived experiences is always really, it's a gift. And like you said, letting things get emotional is okay. It's an emotional time, and if we can be emotional in a way that is also like positive, I feel like so many very difficult, challenging, valid, but difficult, challenging, negative emotions are out there, but also we can do some work and just have some experiences that are also,
Yeah, we've got to eventually collectively come together in a way to guide the misguided emotion, because that's what happens. Emotion is real and it's okay.
Yeah.
Guiding it is when it's misguided emotion is when it's the challenge, right? I would always tell, I'm raising a daughter, I have children, and I always tell my daughter, who is the super emotional one, it's okay to feel that way, but do something constructive with the way you feel. So if you're a dancer, if you have all that energy and you're angry, go dance it out. Choreograph a piece that expresses that anger that you feel. But write. You're mad at somebody, write a letter to them. Even if you never mail it, write it out. Like, something. You've got to find a way to channel that emotion. And a lot of times when you do that, you'll find a way to positively impact whatever the situation is, when you think about that emotion and what it's doing to you. The other thing is that I tell her also that emotions will lie. Sometimes you got to understand that your emotions will lie and will make you think something is one way that really isn't that way. So sometimes you have to step back and peel back that onion and really look at, go through the tears and really look at what's there. And so I hope that this will give, because we're not born hating people. We're taught that.
I love what you said about, emotions lie, because I have this sort of struggle with that too, where you're someone who, you don't want to invalidate, you never want to invalidate someone's feelings. People are having feelings, but it's like you said, it's what you do with those feelings. They can be incredibly powerful. And you talked immediately about creativity. So that's why we're here. So, okay. So I have the photo. So let's just, let's do some writing, and then should we share our words or should we go right into our caption? What do you think?
I think we should share the words as well. Okay. Because I have to share the first word that came to mind when I looked at your photo.
Let's do it. Let's just do it. Because we've been thinking about this a little bit.
I know, we cheated because we had the photo earlier on.
All right.
First 5 words that come to mind.
Okay.
I have my 5.
All right. You want to share? Ready to share? I'll hold them to the screen. It'll be opposite day. All right. Why don't you read your list so we can...
My first word when I looked at that photo was badass. It was that, I was like, she's like, yeah, like, I'm here. I am, look at me. I am fierce today. That was the first thing I thought about, I swear. And then the second thing I thought about was an alter ego, and I guess that's 2 words. But because the energy in the photo was a little bit different than the energy I get from you on a normal basis. You're so, like, it was so good to see you in that, like, yeah, I got this. Because you're always so, and not that it's a bad thing, but you're always so loving and sweet. Like, I'm like, my God, like, I just want to hug you, and then to see that photo, I was like, okay, there we go. There's that size. The next word was princess, because you were absolutely looking like a princess in that photo. Confident, it was absolutely there. And innocent, because you could see your innocence in that picture. You were just like chilling, like, yeah, I got this. But it was in an innocent way. It was not obnoxious or arrogant or anything. It was just that innocent confidence that we're born with until people tell us that we have something other than that.
Yeah, right. Wow, thank you for that. And I love that the contrast in the photos that we shared, which you can see if you go to the Instagram. And I think we were probably about the same age in the photos. Do you think? How old are you, do you think, around?
Yeah, I was probably about 6 in that photo.
Yeah, I think so too, like 6 or 7, something like that. Pretty little. Mm-hmm. It's like a very certain moment. So for you, I mean, I can't stand it, of course. I never would have guessed it was going to be like the cowgirl photo. It was so great.
I picked that for a reason.
The words that came to mind right away, I was like, man, so many things I thought, but brave, bold, seen, ready. Bye. Like, I was like, man, she's holding real tight with one hand, but she's like got that. She's ready to like go to the rodeo. Like, you were like, the fact that you could take your hand off and even like give a wave, and
Yeah.
I was like, that is
I think
confidence.
I wave to my mom like, hi, Mom. Like, I'm holding on, but hi, Mom.
Yeah. I mean, that was just I thought, wow, she's taking the reins, and that youthful confidence, just so cute. So yeah, those are the words that came to mind, and I just saw you. I really saw you now in that photo. I was like, oh, it's just you, or just it just shows me too, like, oh man, that your personality has been your personality. You know, like you probably came out just like just. I was like, man, that's awesome, and that speaks to that sort of, yeah, just the way I see you now, and then it was a surprise, but it also wasn't a surprise, yeah, and that you were obviously, it was taken from the point of view of somebody who is probably quite proud of you, and I could see that you were feeling seen in that moment. I felt like you were, yeah. So I could see that reflected in your face and your body and the expression there. So just like, oh, that so many feelings and thoughts. Yeah, we both had animals in our photos.
Yes, I did notice. I noticed. The dog was so unbothered.
Oh, the one in mine is a cat.
Oh, is it a cat? I thought it was a dog.
It's a cat. It's a cat butt. It's always a cat butt walking through. But yeah, that was our cat, Rosie. Whatever, But yeah, the cat was just like doing its own thing. Yeah, interesting. So, yeah.
Great photos, though.
Yeah. The only photo of me on a horse, I'm holding on so tight I look so uncomfortable. I'm holding on so tight with both hands. I'm like, sure, the horse is it was the opposite, so.
But I will tell you, though, that as I've gotten older, I've been less bold on horses. And like I said, I was maybe 6 or 7 in that photo. I picked that photo purposely because there were a couple. Actually, Morgan picked that photo. She pulled a couple out of the album and said.
I was curious, the significance. Morgan helped you pick it? Cool.
Morgan helped me pick it, and there were a few to choose from. But I chose that one because I think folks would not imagine a little Black girl born and raised in New York City would be on a horse in California on a ranch with family. So that was one of my mom's best friends for years, married a gentleman, moved to California. So that was Uncle Mike in the picture. And he was in a rodeo. They had a ranch with horses and, and I thought that was something that most people would not have expected to see, was me on a horse at 6 or 7 years old.
Yeah, and there's a cowboy in the picture. Like, I wasn't sure that was a relative. I figured it might be a relative of some sort, but I was like, yeah, you actually, like, there's also a cowboy in that picture.
Yeah, absolutely. He absolutely was a rodeo rider.
Looks like a cowboy.
The whole 9 yards, yes.
Yeah.
So, and I thought that was good for folks to see that we did have, like, I was so blessed that my parents made sure that I had experiences that would shape my adulthood. All types of things that, the things that you say that we would probably say, especially on the East Coast, oh, Black folks don't do. I played tennis. I took tennis lessons. All types of things that my parents, I learned how to play chess at a really young age. All the things that my
so your identity can be whatever, as big as you want it to be or as different as you want it to be. And I think that's such a good point too about people sort of, generalized, like that internalized racism as well as external racism and the choices we make about who we think we need to be. Sexism goes that way too. Yeah, that's really cool.
So why did you choose your photo?
My mom recently sent me that one, and I felt like, yeah, she's great. She's on here. Hi, ma'am. The photo, I thought was really funny because it's like me looking like this pretty princess, and I forgot that, like, I was we didn't have Disney princesses, but like that dress to me represents Clara from the Nutcracker, That's what that dress was about for me as a child. And the way I got to have that dress was by participating in the wedding of, my mom said, hey girl, that's cute. Participating in the wedding of kind of a stranger, like someone we knew from this weird competitive roller skating scene we were involved in. And they needed a little girl in their wedding. And my mom was like, okay, you could be in that. And then my mom had to make this specific dress that like had something to do with it. They wanted everybody to look like Princess Diana's wedding. It was a whole big to-do of like making this dress, getting to be in this kind of stranger's wedding, person we barely knew his wedding because they needed a child of a certain age to be in this picture, you know. And I kind of suffered through it because I knew I would get this dress at the end. Like I didn't love that kind of the whole situation. I thought was kind of awkward. I remember even thinking that like being in this wedding was a little weird for me, but I really wanted the dress. And I think it also speaks a little bit to some of I was thinking about I don't think people think of me as like the little girl that wanted to be a princess in white or ballet dancer. I also thought I was going to be a ballet dancer growing up. I don't know why I thought that, but I did a lot of ballet. This sort of interesting range of cultural experiences that my folks also exposed me to in my life. We were growing up in urban Richmond, Virginia in the 70s and 80s. Our neighborhood and most of all the schools I went to were predominantly Black. We were a racial minority often in a lot of those contexts in my neighborhood and my schools. And that was great. Most of the sort of examples I had of leadership in my early life were people of color, all my teachers, and that kind of stuff. But at the same time, we also participated in this roller skating world, which did actually have some people of color, but was largely what we would at the time call redneck. Now I also know that is not a very nice term, so we don't say that either. But it was a lot of it was like white people that came from like a very different kind of background than myself as well. So it was a lot of people that spent a lot of money on this very peculiar niche, like athletic hobby. I don't know. It was like exposure to like a whole nother very weird world that wasn't, otherwise I wouldn't have been exposed to as well. So it really speaks to that sort of contrast of experiences I was getting as a kid. And like how you process that as a kid is like, cool, I get a fun dress. Like I played with kids wherever we were. And and I'm just really grateful for the sort of variety of experiences that, you're processing however you can. And, but it does shape how you see the world for sure. But
I think though, that experience could say to folks, because we're going through a lot of turmoil right now. And you said, I suffered through that wedding because at the end I got the dress, right? So we're going to suffer through this particular time period because in the end, we're going to have the change we need to see. We're going to have the world that we need to see. It's the growing pains, right? So, and you keep your eyes on the prize.
You got to.
It was the dress.
You want something, you got to. Yeah.
Right.
It was hot in that church too. I remember it was hot in that church. Not my. But yeah, exactly. You want something, but also, right, that these are, it's difficult for a reason,
But your face in that photo is like, yeah, like, I got this. I cracked up. It was so funny to me because you're so, I don't even know how to, it's just such a, sweet and, always so nice, even like when you came and dropped off the starter, you were like, oh, I'm sorry. And I'm like, girl, I'm not thinking about that. Like, we're fine,
Yeah, that's good. So that's good. And that's helpful for me too. I think that's like a side of myself that I have not like gotten rid of, but tempered because maybe in adult life in some places it wasn't, just didn't work for me or something. I don't know. Or just not feeling, not feeling like it was.
I think as women, sometimes we do that. Like I put a lot of my old self away. And then, realize that I need her.
Yeah, right.
I have a poem I'll share with you that I wrote about that, titled I Found an Old Friend. And realized that I need some of the stuff that I thought that I let society tell me either made me an angry Black woman, or I let men in relationships say, you know, you're too independent, or you're too this, or you know, and I put those things away and made you know, it was quite uncomfortable for me, you know. So I think you get to your 40s. I can at least say for me, you know, I finally got to like my 40s, like, man, screw that. Like, I am who I am. Love me or hate me, but I can't be uncomfortable. And then you don't live in the purpose that God has for you when you're so busy trying to conform to everybody else's version of who you can be. So I'll definitely share that poem with you. I think you'd like it.
Yeah, I would love to read that. Yeah, that's excellent. Yeah, so that said, I've been working on a little poem for you, I think, based on this. And I think I'll do something with it later. But I'm taking my words and I'm writing them into a little caption poem.
Okay, so I'm gonna do the same thing,
and then we'll share that out. See if I can do this. If anybody out there is trying this prompt, I'll reiterate what the prompt is. It is to share a precious photo with someone, ideally exchange with someone, and someone in your life who is from a different racial or socioeconomic background. We called those things out specifically because we've both been thinking about race and inequity in other aspects, and looking for ways to create some bridges to communication, because that's what we'll need next after all of this amazing awareness. So we're writing words based on those pictures of each other, and then we're turning them into like a little caption for the photo. And I hope other folks will try this. You could also take a photo. I mean, it's kind of nice. It works with kind of any photo. Maybe a photo.
Yeah.
If you don't have someone like that in your life, you could take a photo of someone you've heard about recently in the news, maybe.
Take ours.
Take our photo. You could use our photos and write from them. Yeah, I don't mind. And I think Mim, I know Mim did it with a friend of hers, so I'm very curious. And then I also saw another great one. I saw another one, Michelle, who's a really awesome arts educator and healer. She did it with a friend of hers. It's on. We'll share those out. It's really cool. Results already.
Okay, I have a little caption.
Okay. I'm trying to stamp mine because I don't know.
I wrote it super sloppy, so I'm definitely gonna have to write. I have to read this out. I can't show it. It's super sloppy.
So in light of this exercise, which so far I feel like this is us testing this out in a way.
Oh, your mom said she's doing it with us. Yay!
Oh, cool. Okay, I'm almost done. I want to write this out.
I'll tell you something interesting while you're stamping.
Yeah, yes, tell me, please.
So I recently did my MWBE certification. I know I should have done a long time ago, right? But the funny thing was...
It's a lot of paperwork, first of all.
It is a lot of paperwork. Proving the W status was easy. I'm a woman. My birth certificate says female. Do you know how difficult it was to prove that I'm a Black woman?
Interesting. What did you have to do? Can you just send in a photo of yourself?
They don't accept photos, right? Because maybe, you know, I could be brown skinned and not and say, you know, maybe I'm Latina or Hispanic and not African American. I don't know, but it's not a photo. I have no government document that states my race or ethnicity, whichever they want to call it. Not my passport, not my birth certificate, not anything. So what I had to do was, I had two things. My stepmom sent me my dad's VA, no, something from the military my dad had. And it says race, but get this, it says race Negroid for my dad.
Oh, God.
And then my older brother, who is in his late 50s, sent me his birth certificate because on his birth certificate, it lists his mom. We have the same dad. So it lists his mom and my dad and her race and his race. And it says Negroid for my dad.
What? I don't even know this term.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Negroid.
And my dad also sent, right. My dad also sent his high school diploma. And I said, Dad, how is your high school diploma going to help me? And then I saw it, and it said he graduated from Baden Colored High School.
Wow.
And I had to send those things in, and along with my birth certificate that showed, okay, this is my birth certificate. Here's my dad. Here's my brother's birth certificate. You see, he has the same dad, and his birth certificate says Dad is Negroid. So I had to do like an association. Yes, boy, Jay.
How did that feel?
I'll tell you, and you know my personality. I said all my life y'all been giving me a hard time because I'm a black woman, and now you want to challenge that I'm a black woman. Really?
Now they're like, prove it. If you want anything from us, prove it. If you want to benefit from that.
Right. I'm like, you've been giving me a hard time about being a black woman my whole 44 years on this earth, and now you wanna question that? Are you serious? So it was just funny to me, and it was because I said it to a couple of my friends, and they were all like, "Wait!" And we all started looking at our documentation that says, and then there's the quote unquote conspiracy theory, not a conspiracy theory, that says, well, somebody said to me, well, just when they look at your social security number, they'll know because all African Americans have a specific number or whatever have you. So I was like, yeah, but that's not going to work. Even if that's true, and I don't know if it is or isn't, I lean towards believing it is, but even if that's true, nobody's really admitted that, so that's not going to work.
Wow.
I thought that was
insane. I hope you write about that. Now, once you get the certification, once certification's finished and confirmed, then you can write about it. Okay, I'm almost done. That's a crazy story. Thank you for telling me that.
The visually creative person. So hers is gonna look so cute.
No, it's not done. But
and send it to her later because I just scribbled it out. So
that's
okay. And send it to her later so she can post it, and then I'll make it look pretty.
It doesn't. It's more about the process, but I for some reason the stamping is very relaxing for me. So thank you for your patience.
Stamping words. You have a stamped set of words.
A stamped set of letters that I like. You'll see. They're like little. It's like a little alphabet stamp set that I got it for like $1. It's these little tiny stamps with letters.
Oh, wow, how cool.
This was $1 in the the Target section in the front where things are $1. And I've been using this, it's become something I use all the time on this $1 paper from the drugstore.
She's stamping too. Oh, I love it.
Like mother, like daughter. All right, let's do this. Because I know you and I could just do this all day. We would just
So here's my scribble, but I'm gonna read it to you.
Okay. Don't make me cry.
My caption for that photo is, I am an innocent, badass princess. The world hasn't yet told me what I can't have. I know that I'm a princess and everything is at my fingertips. The world is mine. This alter ego and confidence will support me in achieving my life's purpose of creativity.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. Will you send that to me too?
I'll make it pretty and send it to you.
Thank you for writing that. That's beautiful. I need to reintegrate that girl, It's it is important to look back and think about those power people. Here's mine for you. And I think I might rearrange the words a little bit more, but I'm kind of thinking about it. Hold tight, feeling brave enough to wave, a girl going places.
Oh, I love, you have to give me that.
Yeah, I have it's a little out of order, but I'll fix it up and I'll give it to you. But I won't spend too much time on it because that's Creative Sprint. Don't spend too much time on it.
Yes. So
Oh,
yes,
my friend Ash just joined. Hi, Ash. I hope Ash is a fantastic artist. I hope
hi.
she'll take on this prompt too. She's on in Norfolk, which we all have affiliations with the Virginia region.
Absolutely.
Well, that's really all it is to it. So thank you for joining and sharing and spending time with me today. I really appreciate it.
I'm having a ball. I'm
And
just any time.
we'll share out what we made. And if you do the prompt is in the Creative Sprint. Tiffany and I both posted it as well in our personal accounts. So you can do the prompt yourself and try it with a picture of someone you know or someone you don't know, or with one of our pictures. Share it with us and we'll reshare it on Creative Sprint. And we hope you all have a really great and creative rest of your day. Thanks. Bye.